Let's kick it off with some football. Mikko, I know one of these teams you don't like.
I do not like it. I'm proud of it. I'm happy about it, I should say. But for the first quarter, I've got a little question. Did Stefan want out of Buffalo, or did Buffalo not want Diggs? We still don't know. But what we do know is Josh Allen is going to throw to himself this season. And the Texans have a legit Super Bowl contending squad. How's this going to affect the Bills? And how good will the Texans be? Owen, go ahead.
The Bills are shot. And it does make me... It makes me wonder if Stefon Diggs said, I'm not going to play here anymore. Get me out of here. Or you keep my contract. You keep me for nothing. So I really wonder if Stefon Diggs was the reason that he got traded for such a low pick, considering the player he is. Because Stefon Diggs, in my mind, I know trades have been getting, I know players have been getting less value, but Stefon Diggs, for the weapon that he is, I think he's worth so much more than a second-round pick from the Vikings. I think that Stefon Diggs is bare minimum a bottom round first. Because at the bottom of the first round this year, you could probably get Xavier Worthy. You could probably get Lad McConkey. There's a whole bunch of guys who you could probably pick up. Now looking at your pick right now in the second round for Stefon Diggs, and it's 2025, you're not even getting it this year. And if you look at that pick right now, and look at the players on the board in the second round, just for comparison, there's not a receiver who's going to match up to Stefon Diggs' talent anytime soon in the second round this year, and I bet money that there's not going to be someone there next year. So the fact that you traded Stefon Diggs, I understand he's 30, the fact that you traded Stefon Diggs for a 2025 second round pick, that's really, really bad, because now you have no receivers. You lost Gabe Davis, you lost Stefon Diggs, and now you're looking at other teams who have just jumped you in talent offensively. Josh Allen, like you say, he's going to have to throw to himself, because you're not going to transition to a running team with James Cook and continue to be this good. The Texans are going to overtake you, because CJ Stroud has started to become an elite quarterback. An MVP candidate in his rookie season, and with the squad that they're building now, they picked up Danielle Hunter along with a whole bunch of other big pieces, and now they go and
Joe
trade...
Mixon as well.
Joe Mixon, and now they go and trade for CJ Stroud, or for Stefon Diggs, a new weapon for CJ Stroud alongside Tank Dell, who will be back. I'm worried about it, man, for the entirety of the AFC.
It is a worrying situation, but what I wonder, Stefon Diggs' agent refused to answer the question if Diggs wanted out of Buffalo, or like I said, or if Buffalo didn't want him anymore. He refused to answer those questions. But why would Stefon Diggs leave such a good situation in Buffalo? I get that the Buffalo Bills have been complete free agent losers, off-season losers. They have let go of so many players. I think Jordan Poyer, they've let go of Gabe Davis. They have let go of so many superstars. They are in cap hell. That's all I have to say. And maybe Stefon Diggs could have seen it. He's like, we're not going to be as good next season. But what is so interesting about this trade is, like you said, the second round pick for Stefon Diggs. That is not his true value. It is not. And what worries me the most about this is that CJ Stroud was able to have an amazing year with two receivers, one in his first year, the other that was a nobody before the season. And now he has Stefon Diggs with Joe Mixon? That is a crazy, crazy team. And like you said, they've added some key pieces on defense. This is really worrying.
Not a pushover O-line as well with Laramie Tunsil and the rest of the guys. Their guards are solid, their center's solid, their tackles are very solid. But
Jimmy Ward
on defense would have, what worries me now is CJ Stroud's only going to get better. I doubt he'll regress. I doubt a guy like that will regress.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a defense with Derek Stingley and Will Anderson, who the same thing as CJ Stroud, really young guys are not regressing. Tank Dell as well, another rookie last year who will be in his second season this year in a better team with better players and other people who are building off of each other. That defense, now you add a veteran presence like Danielle Hunter, pair him with the other side and Will Anderson, and generally build around the younger guys. Man, this isn't a win right now team in the sense that you're going out and getting veterans like the Rams did a couple of years ago to win a Super Bowl. But what this is a team that can win in 3 years if they keep the pieces that they have right now and keep winning in free agency like they did this year. Because looking at it from an outsider's perspective, the Texans can go really, really far with the pieces that they have. But again, if you have these same pieces in 3 years with like a team that's this young, you could be just as good, if not better, then.
I fully agree. We thought this season Texans were going to be not even close to playoffs, Arizona Cardinals type of level, but they proved way differently. CJ Stroud went off at the beginning of preseason. Nobody believed in him. They believed in Bryce Young. They believed in all those guys. Those guys weren't able to compare CJ Stroud. Now CJ Stroud, like I said, has Stefon Diggs, and basically everyone could get open. Your third string receiver is Tank Dell. That says a lot about this receiver core. Joe Mixon is your running back. This offense is stacked. Like you said, the line is something else. CJ Stroud had all day to throw last season. Imagine what he can do now. He can use his legs. He can do everything. Defense is sharp. I really think they could win a Super Bowl within the next 3 years.
I agree. Young team, already really, really good. They actually went 10-7 and got past the first round with majority of their key players being rookies. CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Tank Dell, obviously he was hurt, but he was one of the reasons that he got them there. He was one of CJ Stroud's, if not CJ Stroud's main target. And the fact that he got hurt and they still were good shows that that's still a team that can work off of each other. Like, Tank Dell, for all we know, Tank Dell would have been the next Justin Jefferson. But if we got hurt and the Texans kind of slowed down and didn't do as well, people would say it's because of Tank Dell. Tank Dell's a better player than we think. We're not giving him enough credit. But the fact that they went out and did just as good without him, that says something, man. That's a team that is young, that's a team that's building off of each other, and that is a team that will be around and together for a long time. Because Nico Collins isn't old. The only real veterans that they have on their team right now are Danielle Hunter, who they got in free agency, Laramie Tunsil, who's been around for a while, and Jimmy Ward on defense. Those are the only key players that are a bit on the older side and who might not be around in 3 years as like a key role.
I agree with that, but also to add on what I want to say, this Tank Dell and CJ Stroud's chemistry over last season was something else, and I must say, I can't wait to see what CJ Stroud can do with these receivers. We've said it a lot, but this is a blockbuster trade.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
I agree.
Oh, Owen, did you know the Bills apparently, I saw this on Instagram not too long ago, the Bills had allowed Stefon Diggs to seek a trade, but not the Chiefs. He wasn't allowed to go to the Chiefs. I find that funny.
It's pretty funny.
It is really funny.
It is a rivalry. You don't want to send them to a contender and then have them spoil playoff hopes again because he burnt one of your DVs or something deep twice for touchdowns, you know? It is a rivalry.
Bills, I don't think, are contenders.
Not anymore, but
Bills
I'm sure I'm sure they think so. I'm sure they think so. I think that it's funny that the Bills would reject a trade from the Chiefs. If the Chiefs, like, if the one team that they say you can't go to is the Chiefs, that's saying something of how much that rivalry is, because they're not even in the same division. The fact
It
that
is.
it's the Chiefs of all teams, I get that would be scary. Everyone sees that Stephon Diggs and Patrick Mahomes on the same team would be absolutely terrifying. But for your sake, for the Bills'
Add
sake,
Marquise Brown.
at,
Add
at
Marquise
Hollywood
Brown
Brown,
on that.
I can't imagine if the Chiefs would have secured Stephon Diggs. I can't imagine how excited you would be.
I'm sure. I'm sure it would have been a way more expensive trade. It wouldn't have been a second. It would have been 2 firsts, and we wouldn't get anything but Stephon. That would have been the trade. But I think we can move on from now. It was a great topic, blockbuster trade, like we like to say. But